you go find a job. Welcome back. The Government Accountability Office estimates that student loan debt now collectively surpasses $350 billion, much of which borrowers will default on. Graduating seniors have an average of around $37,000 in debt, 3 times that of graduates in 1996. In response, the GAO is looking to forgive $108 billion in student debt. So why is debt ballooning, and will throwing more money at it fix things? Never! But don't ask me. Ask Brenberg. I will do just that. Hey, that's me, and here I am back here. He's the Associate Professor of Business and Economics and Chair of the Program in Business and Finance at the King's College here in Manhattan. Welcome back, Brian.
Good to be here.
So a staggering statistic. Between 2005 and 2015, the average sticker price at public schools rose 40%. There's nothing to keep these costs in check. The federal government keeps writing checks and creating programs to subsidize college. And now students are going to default on their loans. What does that say to you about college as we know it?
Actually, we're going to just forgive students $108 billion of the loans that they've taken out. It tells me that college education is not putting people in a position to get a job that can allow them to pay for the investment. We're sending kids to school. They're getting these educations. They can't find a job after school that pays enough. And so we end up having taxpayers, many of whom never got the chance to go to college, having to subsidize these students. Why are we doing this? This is the wrong investment to make if students can't pay for these bills themselves.
Especially when they don't think of it as an investment. When there is a disconnect between what you're doing and how you're spending your time while you're in college and how you're going to pay for it or your future employment afterward, you're going to create massive problems. Now, the other area that you point out is grad school is really expensive, obviously. And, you know, if it takes you 7 years to get a PhD, you come out with even more debt, and more of that falls on the shoulders of taxpayers.
And we're subsidizing so much that we have these income-based repayment plans where it says you pay X% of your income after you go to school. We have so many people in grad school on that plan. And the problem is after 10 years or after 20 years, if you go in the private sector, those loans are forgiven you. Wait a second. We're spending all this money to subsidize people going to grad school. The point of going to grad school is to get a job that pays enough to pay off your loans. If you can't get that, you're doing the wrong grad degree. This is the wrong program for you.
And that's what they've been telling us, you know, since we were in high school, is if you go to get an advanced degree, you'll make 30% more.
Wrong.
And those statistics, they don't bear out.
No, it's correlation, it's not causation. If I'm a smart, ambitious person and I go to college and I get a great job after, it's not necessarily because I went to college. It's because I'm smart and ambitious and I happen to filter through that college. So no, you're not going to necessarily make more going to college. Look, I shouldn't be saying this. I'm a college professor. It's in my interest to throw tons of money at colleges. But the truth is, it's not for everyone, and we're doing people a disservice.
And if you're spending as much on grad school as you would on a mortgage, would you have your mortgage forgiven after 10 or 20 years?
Well, this is it. And look, a mortgage gives you a real asset. In a lot of cases, these grad degrees people are getting aren't really giving them any asset. They're not learning how to think critically. They're not learning any skills that they can use in the marketplace. They're just sitting through 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years of school. They're getting out, and then they demand a job. They say, I'm entitled to a job. No, you're not. Education's not an entitlement. It's an opportunity. It's an investment.
And that's one of the biggest problems is, you know, for so long Democrats have been telling us that everyone has the right to go to college. And we owe it to everyone in society to send them to college, to pay for it. That was one of Bernie Sanders' main thrusts.
And that trickles over, by the way, after students are done with college, because if they think they're entitled to a college education, they think they're entitled to a job. And if you're entitled to a job, guess what you're entitled to? A bigger paycheck. It never ends. You need to nip it in the bud with college. It's an investment. If it makes sense for you, do it. If it doesn't, try something else.
And that's why you're the Chair of Business and Finance at the King's College. Thank you so much, Brenberg.
Always good to be here.
All right, very good having you. Coming